So this year I did not go to the high-end show in Munich. Some colleagues of a friend of mine did go, and they were so kind to let me use some of their pictures. Now why did I not go? Well, very simple. I had to decide if I went some 3 months ago. This is because of the hotel and train reservations, and I was not even sure if the show would actually happen. For me, the pandemic is still not over, so I am still being cautious. And because of 2 pandemic years, work had been slow, so I had to spend my money elsewhere. Now next year I'm definitely going, but this year I could not justify going. Anyways, in this video I want to tell you why I think you should visit these kind of exhibitions, and we will take a closer look at the pictures that you are seeing now. So let's start with the why. And I bring this up because I had some discussions with people, and it appeared to me that some people have a different view on what a show like this is and who it's for. Now most of these shows go for more than 1 day. The first day is mostly for business, and the rest of the day is for normal people like us. So what can you expect when you go there? Well, let's start with some numbers. This year in Munich there were some 450 exhibitors representing 800 different brands. The total exhibit was over 29,000 square meters big, and according to the website 20,000 people came to visit the show. So it is big. And the main goal for all these companies is of course to show you their products. Now the main mistake I think first-timers make is to think that the quality of the rooms will be the same as at their high-end dealer or at their own perfect listening room. But that is not going to happen. This conference center does not have the kind of rooms or thick walls that are required for that kind of level. These are just meeting rooms. Many of these shows take place in hotels, so they are demonstrating their gear in a hotel room. This is not optimal, and it's very possible that you will hear the music from the other room, or if the neighbor is demonstrating their latest subwoofers, well, you are fucked. So if you are going in with that mindset that it will be perfect, you will be disappointed. So why should you go? Well, if we count the perfect listening room as 100%, we might get 80% of the real thing. And I mean, I rather hear a $1.5 million setup at 80% than not being able to experience something like that at all. Just imagine, if you get the chance to be a passenger in a racing car on a real racetrack, you will have the ride of your life even if it's not going full throttle. So one reason to go there is to experience those pieces that you only read about or only get a glimpse of on YouTube. Another thing that I like is that when you turn a corner you will see a Michael Fremmer walk by, or Paul McGowan from PS Audio, or some of the famous designers. I've seen a lot of the big boys and girls, and I like that. Also all the YouTubers are there, so a lot of famous people to see. Now because the show is so big, there's always a room where you can sit up front in the perfect listening position and enjoy some sweet sounds. Some of the exhibitionists really do make an effort to try and master the acoustics of the room, and they will spend their time setting up the system. But there is another thing that I noticed. Some people will step into a room for 2 seconds and then they go away saying something like, "Oh, I don't like it, too much bass." Now we all know at some spots, even in our perfect listening rooms, bass will not be perfect. And I really did hear this happen, and as I knew where that person had been standing, I took the same spot he did, and indeed, the bass was not optimal, but when I moved only 2 meters, it was completely different. So if you do not understand acoustics or loudspeaker placement, it is going to be difficult to understand how to listen in a show like that. Another reason I like these shows is to experience 20,000 other people with the same hobby. In my surroundings I have very few people that I could label audiophile, and it's a bit of a lonely hobby, and here I encounter so many people that enjoy this hobby. And yes, you will see all the stereotype audiophiles there, but I guess that is who we are. There will be people listening to the music with their eyes closed and a big smile on their face, and there will be people who just want to know what type of tube is in there and why did they not use the DAC chip that he liked most. They will all be there, and they are all enjoying the show at their own way, and I think that's beautiful. Okay, more reasons to go. The music. I have quite a collection of records and CDs that I picked up after the show because it was new and it left a big impression on me. It gave me the opportunity to score new music, but also to see if I can get the same experience at my own system as I did at the show, just for fun. Now, granted, there are still a lot of exhibitors who appear to not like music. They will just put on the safe audiophile standards, and sometimes they can't even bother to tell what they are playing, or they just play the whole CD. And I've seen even worse, where they just put a laptop down and a playlist, and they will be drinking coffee, looking bored, doing nothing. So they don't enjoy the music and they don't enjoy their coffee. So that's a shame. And apart from all that, there are a lot of other things to do. There will be comparison workshops. A few years back they did a comparison between the loudspeaker cables, and it was about the latest, most expensive AudioQuest cable against a set of the very first run of monster cable loudspeaker cables. Now, even if you don't care about expensive cables, I think that is something that makes this hobby interesting. Oh, and there were many occasions where they would play actual master tapes. Now, just the idea of being able to sit there and listen to an actual master tape is just something that you never get to experience. So even if it is only at 80%, these are the things that really make it worth going to a show like this. And the last thing I want to say about it before this video gets too long is that these kind of shows with these top setups will give you some kind of a reference. You know, if you have a car, a cheap car, you will never know how good or bad this car really is if you have never experienced, for example, driving a Rolls-Royce. If you have, then you know what the difference is. Now, I have also, this is the very last thing I want to say, I have also encountered people who will go there and they'll say, why would I go there? I cannot afford that. No, but it will give you a reference. You don't have to buy it. You're not going there to buy it. You're going there to experience it. Okay, enough preaching. Let's have a closer look at some of these pictures. So let's start with our Dutch pride, Kharma. Kharma brought these wonderful loudspeakers and these wonderful mono amplifiers. Prices that you see here are an indication. It's pretty difficult actually to find the correct prices, but this will give you an idea. And as you can see, they bring their own acoustic walls. They have the logo printed into the walls, but even as you can see here, they bring their own flooring to these kind of shows. This is a view from the side wall. You can see some more of the flooring down there, the acoustic walls, and also these acoustic elements that are probably wood are also made by Kharma. A nice preamp, and the $120,000 is for roughly the digital front end from DCS that you see over there. And one last thing to notice is that they have their equipment apart from the power amps on the side wall instead of in between the loudspeakers, and that is how I prefer it. And here we have all Jadi amplification, a $44,000 Lampezator DAC, and that's why I picked this picture, is on top of that, that is a music server, and that is also another Dutch project, and this is from Tyco Audio, $32,000, made to order, and these guys are making some waves in the music server world. These things apparently are pretty good. And here we have a room that always attracts a big crowd, which is not a surprise. Here we have a DCS digital front end, we have D'Agostino power amps, Wilson audio loudspeakers, and don't forget the $40,000 loudspeaker cables by Transparent. And then of course you have these crazy extravagant setups that are just a joy to experience for once, or maybe it will inspire you to go and buy some horns or whatever, but this is also a reason why I like these shows. You get to listen to this kind of crazy setups. And so we come to the end of this video. If you have never been to one of these shows, I hope I inspired you to go there at least once. It's a wonderful experience. If you want to see more pictures of the Munich High-End 2022, go to myhighend.com. This is a Chinese website. They make the most pictures of all of them. They post them all and the quality is amazing. So go there and check it out if you want to see everything that was at the show in high quality pictures. For today, I say thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.